Hi everyone, this is Selvi. Today's topic is calculation of time required for backlog refinement meetings. Okay, so we already discussed about what is backlog refinement meeting and what is product backlog health, all those things that we have talked about in our previous episodes. So I request you have not listened to those two episodes yet. Please visit and listen to those episodes because we are going to use those values as parameters here, which will be very helpful. So first thing is we need to identify what is the time that we need to block for our backlog refinement meetings. So backlog refinement meetings are very important because they will give us the confidence that we are really ready for the upcoming sprints. Now, in general, there is a view that we need to plan the backlog refinement meetings every week 1 hour or every week 2 hours or for a sprint 4 hours, like that. But what is the logic to identify that how many hours we need to get into this refinement meeting? There should be some logic. So that logic we are going to discuss today. So to calculate the hours required or the time required for the backlog refinement meeting, we are going to use certain parameters. The first parameter is the average velocity. So already we have discussed on how to calculate the average velocity of the team. So the velocity is the one that I'm using everywhere, the average velocity, because velocity is always calculated as an average. Now, this is the first parameter. And the second parameter is the details, the history of our backlog refinement meetings. When I say history, let's try to understand a little bit more what we need from that history. So far we would have done a lot of refinement meetings. So in every refinement meeting at the end, we would have prepared a backlog refine summary report. So this backlog refine summary report will be having a detail called how many story points that we were able to achieve out of this backlog refinement meeting, which means how many work items that we have refined and we got the complete clarity, we estimated and we got the story points. So this value is very important. So let's take in our last 5 refinement meetings, we have spent 5 hours. I'm just giving for example, 5 refinement meetings that we have spent 5 hours and we have got 50 story points on total. Like one sprint, one refinement meeting would have got 12, one would have got 8, another 10, like that. Total 5 refinement meetings that have happened, we have spent 5 hours and we have got 50 story points. So 5 hours on average, like 50. So for 1 hour, we will be getting 10 story points. Okay. So now let's keep this point aside. So 1 hour on an average, our team is able to achieve 10 story points. So how are we getting this? We are getting this from our previous completed refinement meetings that happened. So we can take 5 or we can take 10 according to the maturity of the team that is going through. For example, if the team is new, better to take good number of refinement meeting count. If the team is already in a stable state, then we can pick like 3 or 5 to get this value. Now 1 hour, this team is able to achieve 10 story points as part of the refinement meeting. This is the average. Now let's go to the product backlog health. So let's consider the product backlog health is very poor for this team. Let's take like 25% or 50%. Now let's how we would have calculated the product backlog health. Product backlog health is calculated with the help of story points that are available in the backlog divided by average velocity multiplied by 2 into 100, so that we can get the product backlog health in percentage. Now let's consider the average velocity of the team is 20. Okay, and so far the available story points that are refined and available in the backlog is 20. So what is the product backlog health? Story points that are available in the product backlog, that is 20, divided by average velocity 20 multiplied by 2, that is equal to 40. So 20 divided by 40 into 100, that is equal to 50%. So 50% is our product backlog health indicator. Now two items we got as parameter. One is what? In 1 hour our team is able to achieve 10 story points. How we have calculated that? We have calculated that with the help of the completed recent refinement meetings. What is the second parameter we have calculated? The second parameter is the product backlog health indicator. So product backlog health indicator in percentage is equal to story points that are available in the product backlog divided by average velocity multiplied by 2 into 100. So in this case we got 50%. Why we are calculating this health? The health is calculated just to understand whether we need refinement meetings or not. As I already discussed in the refinement backlog health indicator, the product backlog health indicator episode, we need to first identify whether refinements are required, where are we with the health, so that we can plan refinements in a better way and in more sessions. Okay. Now 50% is not really a good number. So we need refinement meetings. We got that clarity and we need to definitely improve that. So we need to plan some refinement meetings. That is clear. But how many hours we need to plan? That is our next question. So now, what is the average velocity of this team? The average velocity is 20. What is the expected value that we are looking for the product backlog? Always the guidance is twice of average velocity. We have already discussed why twice of average velocity in our health indicator related episode. So now we need to be really careful here in understanding the concept. In 1 hour, we can achieve 10 story points as part of refinement. But what is our goal? 40 story points are minimum required in our product backlog so that we can say that we are in healthy state. So now in 1 hour we can we can achieve for 10 story points, means for 40 story points how many hours we need? 4 hours we need. Right? 4 hours we need. So we need to plan 4 hours refinement session so that team can on an average meet the value that is expected in the product backlog, that is 40 story points. So this is very simple to calculate, but again I'm repeating, first we need to calculate how many story points that can be achieved in 1 hour. To calculate that, we need to take the history of the refinement meetings that happened recently and calculate how many hours, for example 5 hours, these many user stories. In 5 hours 50 story points means in 1 hour 10 story points team is achieving as refinement process. And next thing, we need to ensure whether refinement is really required or not. For that to calculate and for that to understand what is the health of our product backlog, it is must to calculate the product backlog health indicator. That shows what is the gap we have. That is just for identification of the gap. And third one is the average velocity. So average velocity is 20. And what is the expected target in our product backlog? That is 40. That is twice of the average velocity. So in 1 hour, team can achieve 10 story points, means to achieve 40 story points, team needs 4 hours. So 4 hours we need to plan the refinement meeting. We can plan in such a way that in a week we can have 2 hours plan for refinement meeting, or in 1 week itself we can plan all the 4 hours. That is up to the team, and as an alignment with the team we can plan it. But it is really known that now we need 4 hours. So during the planning of the sprint, we will be able to take care of this situation. We need to ensure, okay, we need 4 hours so that we can plan our sprint also in a better way. So this calculation is very important to plan our backlog refinement meetings. We should not go with any assumption that 1 hour should be sufficient every week, 1 hour, or for a sprint 1 hour, 2 hours. That is not the right logic. We should use this kind of calculation to understand where are we with and what is our team's real achievement in the refinement, and then plan accordingly the hours. So if a team can achieve in 1 hour 10 story points, that means to achieve the twice of the average velocity 40, that means team needs 4 hours. So this is the way we can calculate our time required for the backlog refinement meetings. I hope this episode would have helped all of you to understand how to plan the refinement meetings and what is the time that we need to dedicate for the refinement meetings. Again, I'm repeating, please, if you have not listened to the episodes related to backlog refinement and the product backlog health, please do listen to those episodes as well, because these all are very much related topics. Thanks everyone for listening. Happy learning and stay tuned.